gentlemen, I want to discuss the CERB, the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit Plan. As if you are new to this channel, I'm one of those people that lost their full-time income being an entertainer. And in this video, I want to discuss some of the pros, cons, what it's like losing my job, what my future outlook might be like, and then on top of that, what I'm actually doing with that money I'm collecting. I look so forward to breaking this down for you. So in light of my transparency, slap that like button and let's hop right into this.
Drop it.
Welcome back, my passive income investors. Let me start off by saying job loss absolutely sucks. When you've been doing something for a decade and it becomes your baseline income and it just gets wiped out with no hope of work for the next 6 to 12 months going into 2021. I mean, how else are you supposed to feel when your cash flows drop so low? You can't actually afford to go out and move somewhere, get rent or whatever. And I mean, this place is beautiful, but it's my parents' house. And I mean, before when I was living at my parents' house, it was kind of like a weird, awkward deal because I could afford to move out. But now that I'm living at my parents' house, I'm like, damn, I don't even have enough cash flow to sustain rent if I was on my own. So yes, I am definitely taking advantage of the CERB. Now, before I touch base on that, if you guys are new to this channel, I'm actually a full-time magician. It is a dream job I have been doing for a decade, and I've been grateful for every opportunity I've been able to experience. But now I'm kind of looking at this bridge in my life where I have to figure out where I'm going, because I can't just sit on my hands and pray all of my clients are going to come back after this, because God knows theaters and anything entertainment related is not coming back for a little while. So I'm trying to figure out what opportunities I have lying ahead, and I'm going to be using the CERB money to basically start fast tracking some new businesses, which I will touch base on. But if you are unaware of the Canadian Emergency Relief Benefit Fund, essentially over a 7-month period starting from March going I think till the end of September, you can claim this emergency benefit of $2,000 for the first up to 4 months. And that essentially equates to about $8,000, which is a pretty huge chunk of change. Now, a lot of people are upset that the government's doing this, but in the same notion, I always think back to the last financial crisis, which was the 2008 crash, and the government printed off what they called quantitative easing, being, you know, trillions of dollars, and people thought it was terrible and stupid because no one could fathom trillion-dollar numbers just being thrown out at the time. But I mean, it led into the greatest booming economy in history and arguably the best decision the Federal Reserve ever made in the US, and it worked out, you know, fairly good here in Canada too. So I understand when the government sees these kind of bandages as short-term fixes, because the economy was doing great up till this point. So I mean, if it puts a band-aid on it, it helps us continue to get back to where we were. I'm 100% for it. Now, what am I doing with the CERB money that I'm getting? I always have mixed feelings because this is the first time in my life I have ever claimed government money, and that also comes with a sickening feeling for some reason when you want to be self-sufficient. But at the end of the day, guys, many of you are aware I'm a stock investor, but my portfolio is not bringing in enough to survive on. And I mean, I'm trying to venture off into this YouTube channel. So thank you for watching and slapping a like, because you guys are gratefully raising my cash flows to a point where hopefully I can get to self-sufficiency and eventually move out of this house. I am using that CERB money to start online businesses. This is something I've partnered with another YouTuber on, and we've managed to build up some cash flows, roughly about $1,500 a month US, which we have to split, and all the costs that go into this. I mean, it doesn't equate to enough yet to be, you know, sustainable, but at the same time, for something we started 6 months ago off a couple websites, pretty incredible stuff. I'm trying to broaden my horizons in the digital realm by essentially primarily focusing on YouTube. We just started a YouTube channel on Passive Income Educator, which is going to be our streaming channel, and this will be my main channel. And then we're starting to buy, manage, create websites. I mean, you guys heard me talk about this before. There's auction sites on the internet. You can buy websites, you can sell them, and it's just something that you need to be paying attention to, because it's just simply the way the world is headed. And I'm actually going to be using that government money to either put into building sites or buying them. And I'm actually on an auction site right now, which I've told you guys about before. There's Flippa, and Flippa is like the ghetto version of buying online businesses. And then you have Empire Flippers, which is a little bit more premium. You're going to be paying anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, and if you want $1 million for a business. But at the end of the day, you're buying into cash flow if you know what you're doing. Now, I really really quickly just want to show you these auction sites that I'm tinkering around with to hopefully intrigue you a little bit, but we'll take a look at Empire first. And if we scroll down, this is where we're going to see all their listings at their marketplace. And these businesses are in niches from finance, art, electronics, technology, literally everything under the sun. And like I've said, these trade at multiples of anywhere to 20 to 40 times their monthly net earnings. So right here, we can see the monthly income, say on this website, is $23,000, and times that by 40, which is the valuation that Empire put on it, and it's worth $952,000 that you can actually buy right now. These businesses scale all the way up to millions of dollars, but maybe we'll look at the cheaper end on here. And again, you got to remember, Empire is like the premium auction site, so they don't really sell trash on here. You're gonna have to do a little bit more homework, but let's jump into the technology realm here and just give you an overview of these websites. One thing to keep in mind, if you do place bids on these, you can't discuss them openly. You have to kind of sign non-disclosures because, you know, people don't want you ripping their businesses off either. But we can see this is a business created in 2015. It's pretty cheap site, trading at a 30 times multiple. Some of the things that I like to do is obviously take a look at their traffic, see if the business is actually growing over time, which this one looks like it's kind of stagnating in traffic flow. We need to sign in. Sometimes you have to put deposits on Empire if you actually want to see the business. But the other thing that I like paying attention to most is the work required. So this business, we can see the person's been putting in 1 hour a week. And when we're looking for passive income sources, typically, you know, that's kind of the route that you want to go down. Now let's take another quick peek at a website called Flippa here, which is one that I'm actually placing bids on websites right now, which I'm not going to tell you what those websites are because I don't want you to compete with my bids on what I think is attractive to us. But at the same time, guys, these businesses are roughly the same deal, ranging from, you know, $1,000, $100, all the way up to $1 million. The problem with this site is these are not verified businesses. So this is like the ghetto version where you're kind of just hoping these people aren't lying. You have to do your own due diligence, and it's not the place I'd recommend going. So let's take a look at what they define as recession-proof businesses. So if you want to buy into something that's doing fairly well, look at the first business that comes up, Fitness Fighter. It's a sponsored link. Someone's paying to get to the top. It's from Australia. The site's 4 years old, generating $1,600 a month, worth $21,000 at the current bid, and there's 27 bidders. And this is probably a good place to start going down. But everyone's working out from home. Obviously, I mean, I'd consider that a recession-proof business. So maybe we'll use that as the example because, I mean, you guys can spend hours looking through some of these sites. So just scrolling through real quick, guys, we can take a look at their traffic, and we can see over time it looks like traffic's relatively flat. We can scroll to the bottom here and try and see what they're putting in for work and how they're making money. I'm not going to get too into this at the very moment, guys. I just like kind of, you know, flirting with the idea. Now, if you're in the stock market and you're really good at doing fundamental analysis on businesses, this is like the exact same thing, but you end up owning the business. Now, obviously, you want a good skill set. You see, there is a knowledge barrier, just like the stock market, to this, because you do obviously have to understand how these cash flow works. And this one makes money off Amazon affiliates. So it takes the traffic that it's getting, and it's probably going to have blogs on the website with links to specific products off Amazon where they'll collect their 10% commission. And there's always other revenues to make income off websites, whether it's like Google AdSense, whether you're doing subscription-based services, digital products like we do. So, I mean, it's a very fascinating world we live in, having access to this kind of stuff. I think it's incredible, guys. And if you want to learn beyond what I mentioned here, you just visit our site, passiveincomeeducator.com, scroll down, and I offer a bunch of super cheap courses on understanding SEO, buying and selling websites, even building Shopify stores from scratch, which I have on here. And even if you want to pick my brain, guys, you can even just book me as a tutor, and I can kind of help you get started down this path. So I'm kind of messing around and tinkering in the ghetto version of trash sites because I feel I'm confident in understanding what I'm doing. So I feel a little more comfortable tinkering with websites that aren't exactly, you know, the most up to standards. And you guys know exactly what I'm doing with websites, considering we've been really tackling the stock market industry, but I also want to try and diversify a little bit away from that. And if you guys really want to learn more about online businesses, heck, you can even check out the websites we've launched, which is passiveincomeeducator.com, same as the YouTube channel. And then on top of that, we have the chartmaster.com, which helps people track their portfolios. And the other thing that I've mentioned before that people need to realize about online businesses is these e-commerce sites basically trade at a multiple of their monthly cash cash flows. So let's presume that you have a website making $1,000 a month, and they usually trade at anywhere from 24, 36, even up to 40 times monthly earnings. So if you have a website cash flowing about, $1,000 to $1,500 a month, if you were to put it up at auction, there's a very good chance that website could go for somewhere around $40,000. Now, there's a lot of other metrics that come into play, including the reliability of the websites, how long they've been around, how sustainable is the cash flow, considering you can get money off affiliate marketing, you can get money off Facebook ads. There's a lot of different venues you can go down. And this is the best route imaginable for me because I am the passive income investor, ladies and gentlemen. And the funnest thing about these websites, if you understand enough of what you're getting into, these websites are pretty much self-sustainable from anywhere in the world. And it eventually becomes a very passive source of income, very similar to real estate and the stock market. And these companies trade at absurdly cheap valuations, if I'm being honest. And I want to hedge myself against this future that we are seeing happen before us. And I'm not going to be sitting on my ass, on my hands, like most people probably are right now, waiting for their job to come back. And I implore you to get off your ass and actually start learning about some of this. Hopefully I'm offering some form of value, and you can let me know. And I'd love to know what you think in that comment section below. Slap a like again, guys, but stay cool, stay awesome, and I'll catch you tomorrow.